Hi everyone, and welcome to Grumpy Old Men. And I found a very, very grumpy man here. His name's Steve Ross.
I hate that guy.
With an E.
I hate that. How pretentious is that? R-O-S-S-E. Who does that?
We're going to be speaking about pretentious in a moment,
okay.
with you in mind. Now, today we're at Kim Cafe or Kim's Cafe. Does it have an
Kim
apostrophe
on the wall there.
Kim Cafe.
But I believe they spell in Thai, they spell cafe differently than they do at Jipfalele. I think.
Right.
This is Salah A. They use A.
But it is more than a cafe because I'd consider it a very good little restaurant.
I agree with you
Food
on that.
is
We
very
just
good.
had a terrific meal here. It's very good.
We had a pizza.
Yeah.
I had a spaghetti pesto. I was going to say pest. And you had a salad.
A Caesar salad, yeah. And it was all respectable. It was all done well, relatively quickly, maybe, for Farang food in Thailand. And very tasty. I enjoyed the whole meal. Yeah.
And we're going to have a talk about things like the way that food comes out in Thailand in another topic coming up.
Yeah.
We should also mention that Steve's got his own YouTube channel. So I don't know if you've got just nothing better to do, or if you feel like just wasting a few hours, you can go onto Steve's channel and he sits there and he's very happy to waste your time with his stories.
Will someone please pull this knife out of my back?
So what did you talk about this week? That was interesting. I will mention this. Not your show, but the comment somebody sent me. Sorry. We are in a coffee shop.
That's my coffee. Live with it.
Yeah. This is a nice comment I got, and he decided to send it to me.
Oh.
From David Clark, who was a friend I had
right,
at school.
from school, yeah.
So he sent me he watches your channel.
Oh.
He's the one.
Hi, David.
He's the one watching your
He's
channel.
the one, yeah.
Says, hope you're well. Question for Grumpy Time. And here we are, David, at Grumpy Time. Steve was emotional during the week reflecting on an old friend who was running out of sunsets. I thought he was so poignant in the impact his friend had made on him. Does living in Thailand sometimes feel that you both, come on Tim, sacrifice missing friends and family, and how do you both reconcile this? So just update us, just as your friend...
that was Paul McCarthy. Paul, as I have described before, as a divorced father, Boy Scouts was a blessing for me, and you'd have to ask my son how he feels about it, but he went through the Eagle. He got his Eagle badge. And Paul was...
One for you.
Thank you. Paul was the scoutmaster, and because I'm not organized at all, Paul helped Andy through the various steps to become a scout. And the three of us, there were three fathers who had three sons who joined in first grade together, and those three kids went through every step and got their Eagle patches at the same ceremony. So the three fathers went through scouting for 6 years together, me, Paul, and Matt. And at any rate, that's Paul McCarthy, and he has entered hospice, and I miss him a lot. As to David's question, when I first came, it was easier for me to put thoughts of my mother and my children and my friends in America out of my mind. Now that I've been here a while, and the freshness of Thailand has worn off a little bit, I find myself thinking about them a lot more, David. It's a good question, and it is something that we have to cope with. I think if you're at all human, you've got friends, you've got family, and you miss them in this new life. And so, that's I don't have a specific. How do you cope with it? Well, I just try to think of them as much as I can, and I say I love you on my channel.
Of course, we can contact them at the flip of a switch these days. I mean, I don't know, 20 years ago, you'd probably have to go and find a phone with a whole lot of 10 baht coins and speak to them for 3 minutes worrying about your time running out.
You wrote a letter on blue tissue paper, you put it in a blue tissue paper envelope, and you stuck 10 stamps on it, and 2 weeks later, it arrived in your mom's mailbox, and her reply took 2 weeks. So when I came in 88, it was a month. between a conversation. Took a month, just one exchange back and forth. And so, yeah, all my friends and family, or for the most part, are on Facebook now, and I get to interact with them. But it's like, yeah, I liked my mom's meme today. Oh, another kitten, Mom. Yeah, and I like that. It's not the same thing as, sitting and watching Wheel of Fortune with her night after night after night. But it takes some of the sting out of it. But David's exactly right. That's something I think anybody who's human does have to deal with in taking the expat trail.
What do you think about that, Tim? Oh, well,
Tim,
good idea, Steve.
The duck is here. The duck is standing by, Tim. Just give me a squeak and I'll shut up. Tim, what about you? Now, I would find it hard to believe you had any friends, but how do you deal with that?
Well, the one friend that I used to pay regularly.
Yeah, I know those kinds of friends, sure.
When you are going to leave, you do have to go through the process of, oh, gee, I'm not going to be having the opportunity to drive around the corner and visit family, friends, whatever. And I suppose in my case, I knew I was leaving Australia, probably not coming back. I was hoping that I'd arrive in Thailand, really enjoy it, the plans would all go well, and I'd be happy there. And I was also aware that I'd make new friends and new business associates, and I mean, all that sort of happened. I have to say that I'm pretty sure I speak to my sister more often now that I'm in Thailand than when I was back in Australia.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
And she only lived like 5-minute drive away from me, but the fact that she was there, you don't...
Right.
Oh, well, I don't need to go and see her because she's just around the corner.
I can see her anytime I want. Yeah.
So now I do speak to her, and I think we probably get along better that I'm not there. I think all my friends are saying the same. I'm actually very fortunate, and this is, I suppose, a side effect of having the beach houses. By the way, I've got 2 beach houses for rental on Turtle Beach.
I've seen them. They're quite nice.
Links in the description.
Mm-hmm.
But I digress. What was I going to say? I digressed so much that I've forgotten what I was going to say.
I don't know.
Tell me what I was going to say, Steve.
I haven't a clue. You were going to compliment me on my shirt.
And we'll get to your shirt in just a moment. Now, I'm having a bit of a senior moment.
It's all right. You were saying that you have a better relationship with your sister now.
Yes.
Perhaps you get along a lot better.
Anyway, as it's happened, I suppose I've been a little bit lucky in love here in Thailand, and then that's given me a little bit of company that's sort of always there, and I have been very lucky to run into some really good friends. What I was going to talk about, now I've remembered. The drugs are kicking in. No, this is good.
First time ever.
Now that I've got the beach houses.
Yeah.
Friends are saying, oh, Tim, can we come?
Yeah. All of a sudden you have more friends than you knew you had. Yeah.
So, I think I can remember you. Yeah.
That's called the lottery effect.
Sure.
Yeah, you win the lottery and all of a sudden you got cousins and friends you never knew you had. Yeah.
But these are actually very dear friends. One was a PA for me for, about 8 years. Somehow he put up with me. He was a very talented young bloke and gone on, done well. And he's coming over, spending 3 days.
Production assistant?
He was a production assistant, yes, PA.
Okay.
Didn't you know that?
That's my role on this show. I carry the duck.
Don't pump yourself up.
I carry the duck.
And another very good friend who I did business with for about 15 years, she and her husband and her, I don't know what's the
She and her husband.
She and her husband are coming over. He's having a significant birthday, 70. And they're going to come over and celebrate it at the beach houses.
Awesome.
On Turtle Beach.
Yeah.
And that I am keeping in contact with people. Social media has obviously made it a lot easier.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's more a state of mind because you have no reason to really miss your family other than the fact that you can't sort of touch them and hug them. In all other ways, you can keep in contact with them, and I do.
Yeah.
So aren't you glad you asked me?
I hope that satisfies David. And I'm sorry. I swear I'll work on that. I swear I'll work on asking you. I'm very self-centered.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's true. It's hard to see because I hide it well.
Tell me about your shirt.
I've worn this once before on the show. It's just something I bought it at the recent New Year's fair on the street. They had all the vendors selling.
You're calling it the New Year Fair. You're the only one who's given it an actual name.
Yeah.
Nobody in town has any idea why the hell we had that fair.
But there were vendors outside the door. I bought some shoes and I bought some shirts. An opportunity.
And you bought a bed.
I bought a bed. I did, yeah. When the opportunity to buy clothes in my size comes along, if I don't have to go all the way to Phuket to find clothes in my size, I'll buy it. And people complain about the checked shirts, so I bought something that isn't a checked shirt.
I've got a Tesco Lotus on sale, 90 baht.
This hummingbird is upside down. Is it meant to be hanging from a branch, or is it?
Hummingbirds are very versatile, Steve. Oh, they're all
guess.
upside down. I think they did indeed print the damn thing upside down.
Yeah.
Interesting that you noticed it.
I
I didn't even know there were hummingbirds on it, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm all about fashion. That's my
Now-
deal. My shizzle.
You've got a few pet peeves.
Well, I have a couple of language points. I'm very serious about language.
What can you see without your glasses on?
Well, I can see shapes and colors. But no, I've been wearing glasses every single day of my life since I was 4 years old. First thing I do when I wake up, last thing I do before I go to sleep. If I am conscious, they're on my face.
Have you had a new pair? When did you get the latest pair of glasses?
These are one of my health insurance purchases. Before I left the States, I knew I was going to lose my Blue Cross, so I had everything done I could. Had the last couple teeth pulled and a prostate enucleation and new glasses and had my teeth cleaned. And I went to town and spent as much money as I could before they turned off
Bit of
the
a
tap.
spring clean.
So these are probably only 2 years old, just before I left.
If I wore, I think the main reason I ended up getting my eyes done so I don't have to wear glasses is that I only had to wear cheap, sort of 150
Yeah.
baht reading glasses. So it was very easy for me. But I would lose them 10 times a day.
Yeah.
And it ended up that I had about 20 pairs scattered around the house. So I'd always be going, where's my glasses? And they would always be within arm's reach.
Yeah, I'm that way with cigarette lighters.
If I had prescription glasses, I would lose them in 10 minutes.
Well, I don't think so. I don't know. Like I said, I've been wearing these since I was 4, and I wear them 20. Well, I wear them if
Well
I'm
done to
conscious.
you.
Yeah, I don't take them off. I may put them on top of my head to look at something up close, but I don't ever take them off. So I've never lost a pair of glasses.
Just before we have a talk about the word luxury, because your shirt reminds me of that word, we would just
Luxuriant.
we should unluxuriant or in luxuriant.
I don't know.
One or the other.
Unluxurious? I don't know.
We should have a
Lacking
quick talk
lux.
about where we are at Kim Cafe, which does. We didn't talk,
We did talk about Kim Cafe. It's in Kok Kloi.
but we should talk about the building, which is amazing.
Yeah, it's one of these places made out of reused wood and repurposed wood, and the architect they paid an architect to do his job, his or her job, and it's a great space. It's got nooks and crannies. There's beanbag chairs upstairs, beautiful ventilation. I don't know what's growing out here. Is this a palm? Listen, anywhere around here, you're in the middle of some kind of agricultural endeavor. So I don't know if we're in palm or coconut today.
I can see lots of palm trees.
Oh, and they've got some of these. I don't know if you guys have noticed. They've got in 30 years that I was gone, there is a new kind of coconut palm that only grows to about 6 or 8 feet. It's much easier to harvest the coconuts. You see that? That's a mature palm
And you can just
producing
walk
fruit.
up and
Yeah, you don't need to
grab the
hire a
coconut.
monkey to go climb up there anymore. That's something new in 30 years. We didn't have. I don't think we had those 30 years ago. Must change everything on Koh Samui.
And did you know you can buy bamboo now that doesn't spread everywhere?
Really?
I only know that because
Wow.
I want to plant bamboo, but everybody said, "Oh, bamboo."
Yeah, it'll take over.
And I found out that it's called clumped bamboo or something. Anyway, I read all about it. I saw it on the internet, so it must be true.
Yeah. Well, this place we're out in the middle of a plantation, so it's very quiet. There's no road noise. There's no city noise. Beautiful breezes at the moment. If you come here and there's no breeze, don't complain to me.
Now, a bit later, we are going to have a talk about a video that's gone viral that we're either interested in or very jealous about. His name is Brendan Kavanagh, but we'll be talking about that later. If you know what I'm talking piano, Chinese, you know what I'm talking about. We'll talk about that later. But apparently, a lot of YouTubers who make these videos wandering around luxury condos has got up your nose.
Now, you guys, you know, I don't know what the textbook definition of the word luxurious is or luxury, but a 50...
Do you want me to look it up?
No.
Okay.
A 50 square meter condo in some tacky anonymous condo building in Pattaya is not luxury.
Lucky to be 50. Some of them are like 30 square meters.
Yeah, you guys. It's 2 rooms with a kitchenette. That's not luxury. Stop calling it luxury. I mean, we all look for clickbait, right? We all use clickbait. Ha 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 ha. Oh, I caught. It's great. I'll tell you what. Using clickbait, just as an aside, to find out who really watches your videos and who comments without watching. My headline this week was, "Why should I appear on some sleazy YouTube video?"
I know. I read that and I thought, oh, I might even watch that.
Uh-huh.
You know, just
you
for a change.
You didn't.
No, I did.
Oh.
And I got to the end thinking, he didn't talk about sleazy YouTube channel.
No, that's what Dana said. Dana said he wouldn't write a joke for my channel because without watching the channel, he assumed an old white man making videos in Thailand, it's going to be sleaze, right?
Right.
So that's what, well, at least 3 commenters wrote in and said, "Steve, you'll appear on anything, yada, yada." 3 haters, right? Fraser, what is it? Fraser Hunky Dory. Wrote in and took me to task and said, "Steve, you will appear on anything sleazy." They didn't watch the video. It wasn't me saying that. That's the joke, you guys. And so it's a great way. These clickbait titles are a great way to find out who actually watches your show. But Fraser does not. But he still is compelled to comment. The word luxury.
Keep trolling Fraser. Go on.
Yeah. What the hell? Yeah, he doesn't have a life. It's something in place of a life. But
it's his big moment.
I suppose it keeps him off drugs. I don't know. But at any rate, you guys, walking through a little cracker box, up 30 stories in the air that looks like every other one of the 800 cracker boxes in that half-empty building. That's not luxury, you guys. Stop misusing the word. That's one word. Is that the only one you wanted to... can I do the other one just real quick? Language, you guys. Language is important, all right?
Okay.
It's pat ka prao, not krapao. The R or ra is in the second syllable. Ka prao. And it's not kapow. It's not krapao. It's ka prao.
You've been losing sleep over this?
Yes. Pisses me off, you guys. The R is in the second syllable. Kaprao. Pat kaprao. Okay? That's it. Those are my language notes today. Thank you for letting me vent.
Okay.
You guys, listen. Listen to what the Thai people are saying. They're not saying krapao. They're not saying kapow. That's from Batman. Kapow, right? No, that's not what's on your
plate. By the way, it's usually spicy, and if you don't like spice, you better tell them. Otherwise, you're going to be having a little trip to hospital or an uncomfortable seat on the toilet tomorrow morning.
Krung bet. Tell them krung bet. Half a chili.
Oh, no. My side prick.
Well, that's no insert pepper.
Yeah.
You want to say ya sai prick. Don't insert pepper. Okay? My is not don't. My is simply no.
They know exactly what I mean.
Well, yeah, I'm sure they do. They've heard it from 100
idiot
guys.
Franks.
Yeah.
Another thing that this is an interesting topic because we do get...
I'll be the judge of that.
A little bit immune as we live in Thailand longer to things that surprised us when we first got here. Or conversely, it could be things that were completely normal to us when we lived back in the United States, in your case, Australia in mine, that we now look at and are horrified.
Yeah.
Like, I'm horrified that I used to use toilet paper.
Yes.
I can't imagine anything... Thank you very much.
Sorry, dude. Sorry.
Stop. Throw money, not bits of timber. I'm horrified. I don't know why I did that for the first 50 years of my life. I'm much happier now that I don't.
It's gross.
Gross.
Yeah, and that's something that it's both ways now. It's something that was weird when we came that's normal now. Something that was normal at home that's weird as hell now. And smearing it around with paper is weird.
That worked well, Steve.
Props.
Put it in the middle of the table here. We can see
I wanted the cap. I'm making art with these old caps instead of throwing them away.
That's brown, though. You don't have any brown caps.
No, I've got tons. I've got
thought
tons.
you got
I've got
blue
thousands
caps.
of blue for the sea around the turtle. It's if you haven't watched my channel.
So what's the brown top going to be used for?
Turtle shell.
Well, you could relate it to the last thing we were talking
greens
about.
Greens and browns would
Right.
be turtle shells.
You know what I was
the
talking
bum
about.
gun.
The bum gun, yes.
Yeah. Shall I throw some more out there?
Please.
Okay, staying in the side of the equation, which was weird when I got here and now seems normal. And a lot of people are going to get pissed off at me about this, but it's normal to me. Children on motorcycles. Like, a dozen children on motorcycles. Any of those combinations. 5 kids going to school with a 12-year-old driving. Mom with 3 infants on the bike. And all the infants are clinging to her. She doesn't have a free hand to catch anybody.
She's usually got a helmet on, and they
not
haven't.
Not the kids, because helmets are like shoes. If you've got 6 kids, you got to be buying 6 helmets every year because they're all growing up. So it's like shoes. You can't afford. Everybody's got one pair of shoes to go to school. But that I don't even blink now. I don't. Yeah, it's moving around the room. I don't even. It was safest on the floor. I swear to God. I don't even blink at that. I don't even blink at that now.
I don't. Well, initially it used to be. Oh, there must be a law against that. Where's the police? Excuse me, officer. Would you?
Yeah.
But these days I still see that, and I think to myself, that just is logically dangerous.
Yeah.
And it doesn't worry me as much as I used to, because I thought, well, I can't do anything about it. I just hope they get to the end of my sound range without
go with
me.
God. Yeah, you can't.
Yeah, you can't do anything about it.
No, you really can't. And they don't think anything of it. Mom grew up on a motorcycle, and her mom grew up on a motorcycle. Before that, it was an elephant or a buffalo, I guess. But yeah, that's something that really shocked and a guy came to visit me, and he was enraged. We were having this conversation. He was enraged. He was furious at these people. He said the state should take their children away. Come on, dude.
Sure. A bit of a side story on that, before you move on to your next example, is I used to work at a place called the Phuket News.
Heard of it, yeah.
And hi,
Baz,
Jason and
Baz
team.
writes there, doesn't he?
I think he still does.
Yeah.
Cycling something.
Blazing Saddles.
Yeah. 75, Baz. Doing well.
Yeah.
So
the bicycle
every year we used to be involved in a bike helmet campaign with the local police.
Okay.
And we would donate 1,000 bike helmets to the local community. And so the police would turn up, and we'd get the tent, and all the governor had come down, all the local officials, all to get their photo taken. And then comes the time when we give the helmets out, and all the locals, they'd line up, and because they know the free helmet's coming, and so they'd come and they'd get their helmet and thank you very much, and then they'd put the helmet on, they'd get the photo, then they'd get on their bike, put the helmet in the basket, and off they'd ride.
Yeah, sure.
And the police sort of, no, whatever.
Yeah, it's his helmet. He can do what he wants with it.
Sure.
Yeah, it's different strokes for different folks. I wear a helmet. I don't know if you can see it. 5 stitches, did a face plant off the bicycle. And I wear my helmet every chance I get now.
I have to admit that if I've got a short burst from one beach house to the next, I tend not to use my helmet.
Yeah.
That's naughty of me, I know. But of course, I don't want to mess up my hair.
That's the problem. Thailand, we come here because there are fewer hard and fast rules and regulations.
Less of a nanny state.
Less of a nanny state. And really, it's a button-down police state with more rules than we have back home. But we don't feel them. We don't We don't notice all those rules.
They're rarely applied.
Well, no, the rules of don't touch anybody's head, don't point with your feet, take your shoes off before you come in the house, 7 pronouns, I have to use the correct pronoun with you. If I use the wrong pronoun, our relationship is forever soured.
Are you talking about the West or here?
Here. Way more rules here. But we don't feel them. They're all very subtle, and we are forgiven for breaking those rules because we're just dumb farang.
Just as well, I had no idea about the pronouns.
But, it's the uniforms run this place, and they run it to their own capricious whim. And we feel free here. We feel liberated when we come here from the West, especially now. Every old guy sitting on a bar stool is going to tell you, the immigrants run my country, or my government taxes me too much, or whatever. They've got a bone to pick with their own governments back home, and they'll tell you, here I'm free. Here dude, you that land you live on is owned by your wife, because you're not free to own property, dude. You're not free to that very basic human right. So, but it feels free. So we're all kind of fooled by that, and we go along with it because it feels good. But in fact, way more rules here. Way more. Shall I go on?
Yeah, differently applied, I suppose, and in some cases, slightly negotiable.
Oh, yeah. Everything's...
it's different.
Ngungu, blah, blah. Snake, fish.
The worst thing you can do here is come and apply
Yes.
Western thinking and Western logic to. You got to forget all that, because otherwise you're just going to spend your time
frustrated,
being upset,
angry. Yeah, that idea that the cops should take the children, the state should take the children away from those people because they ride around on a motorcycle without a helmet. Yeah, let go of that, man. Let go of that. Don't. You don't need that.
So, Steve, give us another example of something that's weird or not weird now.
Something that was weird when I first got here that is not now is
with this
Thai food for breakfast.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Well, I'm sorry, that's still weird.
Yeah, well, you haven't been here as long as I have. You've been here 11 times longer than I have. But, I eat, I don't like khao tom, the boiled rice, or khanom tin, the soft white noodles. They're the cheapest breakfasts out there, and they're available everywhere, and Thais adore it. No, I won't eat that. But khao man kai, khao mu dang, khao kamu, anything like that. I'll eat Thai food for breakfast and be quite happy with it. But because I wake up at 4:30, typically I make breakfast, toast and eggs, then ride the bicycle, then I'll come back, and at about 9 o'clock I'll go have a real breakfast.
So a second breakfast.
Yes, like a hobbit.
And then you have lunch and dinner?
Lunch and dinner, yeah.
4
And dinner
meals a
about
day.
5 o'clock.
Okay.
Because I'm in bed by 9, and so I eat a very early dinner. But Thai food, when I first got here, it was... I went all the way to Khao Sok National Forest in 1988 to have pancakes, because I didn't know where to find, other than the 5-star hotels on Phuket, I didn't know where to find pancakes, and I was jonesing for some pancakes and real maple syrup.
Jonesing.
And there was an American woman jonesing. I was craving a drug addict who craves his drug is Jones. He's craving. And I was jonesing for pancakes. And I went all the way from Phuket to Khao Sok National Forest because there was a woman there with some bungalows, and she was famous for making pancakes for her guests. I went all the way. I don't care for jungle living. I don't care for the outdoors much at all. So Thai food for breakfast seemed very rare. Shall I go on, or you have some? I'm sorry, Tim. What's your feeling on that?
Thanks for asking, Steve.
That's one. I got one.
So I can't really do the Thai breakfasts. Love Thai food. Usually have Thai food for lunch and dinner. Breakfast, I've still got to have my muesli and fruit and yogurt, or a cooked breakfast with eggs and stuff.
Eggs, toast, bacon.
I don't have bacon and stuff anymore because I'm sort of, trying to be careful with my figure and health. I know.
Really?
I've sinned. But, I do love... Who doesn't love bacon? But, no, I tend to say, keep the bacon now because it's not very good for you. As good as it does taste. But I can't... I don't think I'll ever be able to do Thai breakfasts. And when they sort of, they're eating fish head soup and stuff, I go, no, I can't do that.
Chicken feet, baby, chicken feet and bugs.
Not for breakfast. And there are some disgusting Western breakfasts too. I acknowledge that.
Oh, the English breakfast. I can't even look at a picture of an English breakfast. Baked beans for breakfast?
Oh, yeah, I can't do the baked beans.
Are you insane? What do you think? And 14 different kinds of salted meat?
They have the black pudding, which is pig blood and something or other.
I think it's just pig blood, honestly.
It's very delicious.
Yeah, I don't know how you people conquered the world. I don't know. I mean, just to get away from those breakfasts, I think. Let's go forge an empire so we don't have to eat this crap.
Yes. Baked beans, we used to, at boarding school, we had baked beans every morning for breakfast. I can promise you, from the day I left school, I've never even walked down the aisle where the baked beans are in the supermarket anymore.
Yeah.
I never want to see a baked bean again in my lifetime.
I do not get that.
So, some more examples.
All right.
Things that were weird that aren't now.
We just experienced it. A table full of people orders food and the dishes come out one at a time. They don't come out together. The food does not come out together. The beverages don't come out with the food.
It all comes out of order.
It all comes out of order. Yeah, whoever ordered first is not guaranteed to get their food first. No.
I'm usually last just because,
he's very unlikable. People
whatever.
Sense that.
Sure.
The wait staff sense that. Yeah.
But isn't it? It's true that if you order like an appetizer, a main, and dessert, for example, you might get the dessert first.
Yeah.
And then the main, and then maybe the appetizer. Or
you
might forget.
Yeah. Forgetting. Yeah, just having to deal with forgotten orders.
Or you all order together.
You just take it in stride, man.
And they could all come out half an hour after each other.
Yeah.
It's quite bizarre.
Yeah.
But you just, these days, you're right. I just go, oh, well, whatever. It'll get here eventually.
Yeah. Sure. He eats his meal. Person A eats his meal. He has his coffee. He has his cigarette. He's ready to go. And then my food comes. I watched him eat. Now he's going to watch me eat.
There's something good about that, though, because the food, they prepare the food, they plate it, and they bring it out, rather than putting it under a bain-marie for half an hour, waiting for everything else.
Well, yes. That
gathering bacteria.
If it works that way, yes. Often the French fries will still be cold, and the salad will be warm.
That is true.
That's
true.
But here's something that leads me to something else.
Okay.
So the corollary to this proposition that there are things that are weird.
Sorry, the what?
The corollary. The
corollary?
Other side of the equation.
The corollary?
Corollary. What's on the other side of the equal sign? Is if there are things that are weird when we get here that we get used to, there are things that we were used to back home that now, after a certain amount of time in Thailand, those things from back home strike us as weird.
Like the toilet paper.
Yeah. When I first got here, someone said to me, we were enjoying a meal, and she said, just imagine the person who cooked this meal has never used a piece of toilet paper in their life. And you go, right? Well, now, if I'm in the West and I'm eating and I think, that guy's used nothing but toilet paper. I hope he washed his hands. I hope it's... But the corollary to that is what I sort of was familiar with back home that I don't see here, and now it strikes me as weird. Being rude to the waiter. Man, Falanga, rude to the wait staff. And I've got a theater degree. That means I've waited a ton of tables, and I don't like that at all. I have a friend...
Well, I'm stunned
I know,
already.
Alert the media, who will not look at the menu until the waiter arrives at the table.
Oh, no.
And then he makes the waiter stand there while he flips through the menu.
Does the name start with a B?
I'm not going to name any names, but this is one way to do it. It's okay. You cannot drown out this voice.
What?
But the other night I was eating with somebody who, very fresh in the kingdom, and just extremely rude to the wait staff. And I wanted to leave the table. I couldn't stand to be around this. It's unnecessary. You're not going to get better service. In fact, you'll probably get worse service by being rude to the wait staff.
Can I suggest, over the top of the Vitamizer, that it's a bit of a typecast that American people do tend to be rather rude to the waiters.
Is that our reputation? Is that our reputation?
It is a little bit of a reputation, perhaps.
Perhaps neither of these people I'm thinking of are Americans, but perhaps I have been. God knows I'm rude to everybody. Maybe I have been rude to a waiter, but I have been on that end of it often enough.
Right.
I tip big, and I'm never rude to wait staff. Even they can screw it up through the roof. And I don't blow up at them because I've been there.
That mango is putting up quite a fight.
Yeah.
She's winning. Slowly, she's winning.
Yeah. This is just round one.
Yeah.
So listen, the fruit smoothies here at Kim Cafe are really good.
She's only got 7 more to make. So, yeah, okay. I have to say, I am horrified sometimes at the behaviour of foreigners towards Thais. Not any particular...
just Thais in general.
Nationality.
Our hosts.
But, I have been horrified a few times of foreigners of all sorts of different stripes and the way they treat Thais. I've actually intervened a few times, going, well, mate, you just need to calm the fuck down. So I've had to do that only once or twice with you. So it hasn't been too bad.
It hasn't worked.
So, that's an interesting topic. So why don't you tell us in the comments section of things that, when you've come to Thailand, you've been surprised at, and what Steve said earlier.
And I've got 2 more, if I may.
Okay.
Yeah, either the topic is things that surprised you when you got here that now you're used to and you don't think about a second time, and things back home that your whole life you took for granted as being normal, and now you're here and you go, holy crap, why do we do that? Like toilet paper. I watch TV shows from the West, shows I've seen 100 times. Big Bang Theory. I've seen every episode of Big Bang Theory 10 times. I come here and it happens to be on YouTube, and I think they're laying down on a bed with their shoes on. They're wearing their shoes on a bed, not just in the house, laying on the sofa with their shoes. Even the Indian guy sits cross-legged on the sofa with his shoes on.
Oh, no, you wouldn't do
and
that.
I'm like, what? Why are you wearing your shoes on the furniture? Are you crazy? Well, again, I've seen these same shows, these same episodes 10 times. Never struck me.
Noticed it, right.
Yeah, they're wearing their shoes on the bed.
Very good point. Yeah, I mean, these days, if I walk into a house, just automatically the shoes are just sort of scuffed off at the door.
Yeah.
And I don't even think twice about it until sometimes I may forget or something, and then I look down and I'm horrified that I've walked in with shoes and forgotten.
This restaurant asks you to take off your shoes.
Even though it's an outdoor restaurant.
My dentist, my doctor, both of them, they provide slippers. You take off your shoes at the door and you put on slippers that have been worn by 150 people before you, and they're only big enough to cover my big toe. So I'm still walking around barefoot.
I love when you go to the hotels and they've got the, like we call them thongs, but you might call them flip-flops.
Yeah, flip-flops.
Those sort of, and it's like one size fits all, and it's usually like size 6. And I'm an 8.5, and you'd be, what, a 10?
12.
12, my God.
Yeah, and that's what she said.
You should have been a swimmer.
And those shoes have been worn by dozens of people. You know, the idea, I worked in hospitals for 20 years. You walk into an American hospital anywhere, any category or size of hospital, you walk in barefoot, they're going to throw you out. Here, there's a sign at the door that says, please take off your shoes.
Sure.
Yeah, different strokes, I guess. I got one more. Last one, I promise. I swear to God.
Have we got time?
What about America that I always took for granted that shocks me now? Portion sizes. The size of the meals we eat is just outrageous.
Well, I went to the United States for the first time in 1991. And I was mugged in Chicago. I think I've told the story before. Anyway, that aside, it wasn't you. So the first thing I noticed was the portions in the United States are extraordinary.
Yeah.
You go to places like Texas and there's a steak that sort of goes over the edges of the plate,
Yeah.
and they put a few potatoes and vegetables and fries in the middle of the meat.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It's half a cow sitting on the plate.
It's overwhelming, and we have a very, very pronounced obesity problem in the United States. We have way too many fat people.
Yes.
And listen, I don't judge anybody, but I worked in hospitals for 20 years. That's going to kill you. That being that overweight will eventually kill you.
And when you look at the size of the people and the portion sizes,
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't really take much to figure out.
Yeah.
And it's not that, I've got big bones.
No.
Or that...
It's a glandular condition.
Yeah.
Or a very rapid metabolism.
Or the Diet Coke doesn't work.
Have you seen what they call a big gulp at 7-Eleven in the United States? It's like a quart of soda.
And sugar.
And sugar. And
colouring.
It's this big. It's enough. Anyway, yes. That surprises me now. And again, I only see it. I haven't been back.
And the
in 18
corollary
months,
to
but-
that is that when you see not just Americans but other farang here in Thailand, where they will order 2 meals because they say one meal is not enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, it sort of works both ways.
My God.
But, you're absolutely right. The portion sizes here, I'm much happier with them because I tend to sort of come from the school, or from a boarding school of 7 years, where you eat everything on your plate.
Yeah.
And here, they don't. They just eat until they've had enough, and then...
Yeah. Only, in fact, it used to be, I read this in a book, I've never asked anybody, it was stressed in the book that you don't eat everything on your plate because only the poorest person would have to eat everything on their plate, and you don't want to be seen as that poor.
No.
So Thais, it said in this book, will traditionally leave a little bite of something on their plate. They won't clean a plate like we do. You eat everything, you lick the plate clean in America. But yeah, I don't know. I've never noticed that. I've never looked for it, but it occurs to me. I read that in a book many years ago.
So, we are going to go on to a different topic, and it's not a
I
sort
don't know.
of...
There's a lot of really good food going upstairs. I may just go upstairs with that food. You can take over the rest of the show.
The fried rice and chicken nuggets.
Food's good here, man.
Sure.
Food's good.
We don't usually talk much about pop culture, but we are going to be talking about a YouTube thing that has gone absolutely viral over the past week. And if you're not aware, we'll just sort of quickly bring you up to speed. If you're getting a bit of wind noise in the mic, there is a furious easterly wind blowing at the moment.
It's going to rain soon.
I don't think it is. Anyway, a man called Brendan Kavanagh is a English YouTuber, and his shtick is he wears dark sunglasses, which is just a tad pretentious, because I don't think he's got anything wrong with his vision. And he plays in the tube at one of the YouTube stations. Did it again. One of the tube stations, which is the underground train, and they've got a public piano there. And he goes there and he plays the public piano and does live streams. And people turn up and they talk to him, and that's his shtick, and he does it, and he gets thousands of views. And I think he's got like 2 million subscribers. So he's doing a lot better than us, Steve.
Yeah.
But
I don't
good on
play
him.
the piano. Nothing to be done about it.
This might change in the
piano now.
future. After the performance of this guy's videos, both of us are like, I play the piano badly, and you might start taking lessons. So anyway, he was doing one of his live streams, and there was a group of Chinese vloggers who apparently had permission to make some sort of documentary leading up to the Chinese New Year. And one of the vloggers, dressed in red with a little Chinese flag, came up and said, "Hey, are you live?" "Yeah, yes." "Well, I don't want to be in your video." Okay. And that started this whole thing that got completely, in my mind, out of hand. And I'm not taking sides on this. I think both Mr. Kavanagh and the Chinese people behaved very badly generally on this. But I think there's lessons to be learned here, apart from the fact that if you want to make lots of money from YouTube, you need to get a piano. The piano, by the way, was donated by Elton John. as a public piano.
And it lives in this tube station.
Yeah.
Kavanagh doesn't bring a piano with him.
No, he just lobs there and plays.
Yeah,
and
it's
there
for
are
the
some
public to play.
There's some really great Japanese vloggers that do these playing public piano things, and they're extraordinary piano players. Anyway, it just completely ramped up, and then the Chinese sort of male minder came over and started sort of heavying him and say, you can't do this and you can't do that, and then he reached out to sort of look at the flag or something and don't touch that woman, and it all ramped up, and then Mr. Kavanagh started sort of responding, and he started by saying things like, this isn't communist China. And as soon as I saw that, I thought, oh, here we go. He was like pulling out that whole race card, and then he started
dog whistle.
And then he started, and look, I'm not taking sides here, and as I said, I think both sides did behave a bit badly, and the fact that this YouTube has, I think it's up past 10 million, is just extraordinary and shows how sensitive people are about these things. But then accusing them of being members of the Communist Party, and I'm thinking, well, the flag is actually the flag of China, not the flag of the Communist Party. They are actually two different flags. And lumping every single Chinese citizen, as a Communist Party member, I thought, you've just ruined your argument, Mr. Kavanagh. But of course, he was pretty hot under the collar, and he was bristling and sort of responding. But it's just been amazing to me that this has sort of become the big hot topic on YouTube and social media over the last week.
Does not say much for us as a species that this is what's getting the views.
So what did you think?
That's
what they think. I think they're just trolling us now.
She's waiting to see my lips move, and she hits that pulse button. I only watched a few minutes from the middle of it, and I had never seen Mr. Kavanagh before, and I don't care to see him again. He is an amateur dramatist. He plays piano beautifully, but his acting is very community theater, and that's what he was doing in this. He was trying to get clicks, trying to get views, wearing the dark glasses indoors. I mean, and he got very, very uppity as soon as these people came and started to speak to him, and they're smiling and nodding, doing that Asian thing, trying to avoid conflict, and he's trying to poke them and provoke them, Chinese, China, China, and he knows right now in the world there's a lot of anti-Chinese sentiment in the Western world. You know
that we're going to get a lot of hate out of this, and look, I get it. But we shouldn't be taking sides on this. I think we're trying to analyse this from a sort of
YouTube
point of view.
YouTube. I don't give a rat's ass about China. I have absolutely no interest in anything off of Turtle Beach. I don't care about any of that crap, any of it. But performance, particularly live improv public performance, very interested in that, and that's what this guy does. And he got lucky. He got very lucky. He should be sending these Chinese people a gift basket because they made all these views for him. He didn't do anything extra special. He didn't do anything to generate 1 million views. And conflict is the heart and soul of drama. He had no conflict. He was sitting there playing his piano. They provided the conflict for him. The Chinese people are very attractive on camera. They look great. So there's lots and lots of people going to watch it just because it's pretty people. So that,
like why people watch us on this show.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Just we're eye candy, right? And so he lucked out. They weren't dour apparatchiks from the party. They were young, bright, very elegantly dressed, very expensively dressed people who spoke English very clearly and very well. And he, Central Casting sent him the perfect interlopers for his project. And he should be sending them a gift basket. He owes them all these millions of views.
He would be making thousands and thousands of pounds from this video. Mm-hmm. And to his credit, he's been very clever about it, and he's been making an update video every day saying how the Communist Party is trying to pull the video down off YouTube. And I mean, I think both sides have just come off out of this very, very badly. And people are polarized. They're on one side or the other. But I mean, look, as far as I can see, there's a lesson out of this. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but
sunglasses are cool.
Maybe we
sunglasses make a dull guy look cool. I don't know.
We should wear sunglasses and play the piano.
My only last note is those Chinese people were acting genuinely. They were pissed off at him and wanted him to stop playing, and their training and their education and their whole lives said, don't growl at him, don't yell at him, smile at him and say, please, please, please. He was acting. He was performing. He was being false. He saw an opportunity to provoke conflict, and so he got all uppity and started throwing dog whistle words out there like communist Chinese. And so I think they look a little better than he does, just because they're acting he's acting disingenuously, and they're acting honestly.
Yeah, but of course he then sort of moved or evolved into, this is a free speech issue. And I thought, really?
Were you speaking, or are you playing the piano?
If I was him, well,
you'd
maybe
have 1 million views.
Yes, maybe if I was there, I would have said, "Oh, okay, I hear what you say. However, this is a public space, and I'm perfectly entitled to play the piano here.
That's why it's here."
What I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn my camera around a little bit so you're sort of out of shot. Is that okay? And maybe the whole thing would have de-escalated.
Right.
But he wouldn't have had 10 million views.
Yeah, he wasn't interested in de-escalating anything. He wanted to escalate the whole thing.
So look, tell us what you think, because I've read...
Not about China. We don't want to hear what you think about communism, capitalism, China, anything. If you... fashion, what these people were wearing, you want to comment on that? Fine. How they were behaving in the YouTube context, that I want to hear. I don't want to hear what you think about China.
So there was this, generally most people were on his side. I think they sort of jumped on the bandwagon. But I sort of sat back and thought about it for a night, and I thought, actually, his behaviour really wasn't much better than theirs. And it was really the Chinese. There was one particular gentleman that was doing all the roughing up, and the others sort of, once he arced up, sort of stood back. Cue the Vitamizer.
I think the one guy had the best English of the group.
Yes.
And so he took it on himself to interact with this guy, this weird pale guy in the sunglasses.
So, be interested to hear, if you can hear...
It would be interesting to hear.
Yes. What do you think of that particular issue? If you haven't seen it, I don't know. You might want to waste half an hour...
it goes on and on and on and on and on.
Type in Brendan Kavanagh. If you can't spell Kavanagh, it's K-A-V.
Yeah.
Oh, anyway.
It's getting so many views, it'll as soon as you Brendan K, it'll pop up. Yeah.
So I'm going to go and get that Vitamizer, and I'm going to throw it in the bin. Do you have anything else to talk about? Because I've sort of run out of topics here.
No, sir, I'm done.
Everyone's favourite meal. What was that? Oh, kapow.
Kapow, not krapow.
Okay.
Not krapow, not kapow. It's pot kapow.
There she is again. There's no way that all these people are ordering shakes. Mind you, I'd have to say, if you are looking for reasons to move to Thailand, the fruit shakes, the pun, would almost be worthy of moving to Thailand for, because never had them in Australia. I'm not sure about the States, but fruit mixed with usually a bit of sugar and then ice and into the Vitamizer, and that noise for about a minute, and bingo, it's usually very healthy. I get mine without sugar.
We've had a product in America called Orange Julius forever, which is an orange juice fruit shake. It's pulverized ice, orange juice, sugar, and a milk product to give it kind of a thickening. And that's been available. Orange Julius. It's been available in America forever.
I remember another American product, Tang.
Yeah, Tang. It went to space
sugar.
with the astronauts.
Okay, so we can thank you for Tang.
Well, not me personally.
Can we thank you for Spam? Was that American or was that British?
Spam.
Monty Python.
Actually, Napoleon Bonaparte's army invented canning food. I don't know if they canned salted meat. I'm sure they would have. So I think we have Napoleon Bonaparte to thank for Spam.
And on that note, we thank you very much for watching. This is a YouTube program, and we do this because it's fun, and because, well, Steve pays me.
No, it's just fun. That's the only reason.
And Steve has got a YouTube channel, which is Steve Ross with an E. Don't forget the E.
Yeah.
Very pretentious. And then he's also got, and I'll put a link in the description, he's got a very strange email. And you can email Steve and have a conversation with him and order the merch, including the turtle shells. You're selling them.
Yeah.
Wow.
I should have brought one.
They look like
honestly,
a turtle shell.
Yeah, I make paper mache turtle shells, and a local artist paints them for me. And
I have to say, the local artist has really upped
he's
the
elevated
game.
the game. We had a guy come and we're making them to go around my float in the Turtle Day Parade. But a couple farang have come in and said, I want to buy that, and one guy bought one
For a lot of money.
For a lot of money. And so
we have to thank somebody. Our diving friends in Mallorca.
Oh, right. From Mero Diving.
Mero Diving.
M-E-R-O in Mallorca.
If you are going to Mallorca, make sure you look up
Mero Diving. M-E-R-O. Yeah.
Really?
There's not another piece of unpulverized fruit left in Kok Kloi. He spells it Jaime, but he introduced himself as James and his wife Nat. And
there were 6 of them, actually. 6 people.
Well, 4 of them, I think, were staff at his diving place, and they were diving Phuket. They were here to dive Phuket, and they came by Boontongs. They visited Boontongs, and were very, very generous. They left gifts, and they were very, very generous. And I very much appreciate that. And if you could someday go diving in Mallorca and go to Mero Diving and tell them Steve sent me, I would feel like maybe I had balanced it a little bit.
Yeah.
And then Jack and Diane came back, and Jack and Diane brought gifts as well.
And they brought me a whole wall chart kit because I mentioned I was having a bit of a problem sort of getting all the competing booking systems all centralised. So I wanted a wall chart so I could stand back and look at it. And they prepared a whole wall chart kit for me, which included little turtle stickers. There you go.
You can't go wrong with turtle stickers, man.
On that note, thank you very much for watching. I should be looking down there. That's where the camera is. We've come today from. You got some mint or green in.
I was trying to show off my new tooth. I will stop that. Stop that.
There's a piece of mint hanging out of the tooth. Or maybe he hasn't cleaned the tooth lately. It's just going.
What other YouTube channel do you get to see this stuff, huh? This kind of quality. Where else do you get that?
Oh, yes. So, let's see it again. It's still there. You got one on either side of it.
We're done. Turn it off. Goodbye, we're done.
We'll see you next time.
Love you.